What's going on, everybody? How the hell are you, my friends? Happy Sunday. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. This is your favorite heavy metal maniac, GB's here of Into the Squared Circle podcast. How the hell are you, my friends? It's Sunday evening, Sunday afternoon, wherever you may be, watching across the world, watching across the United States. But again, it's Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to me and to all the fathers out there as well. So a little C4 Jolly Rancher to kick off the Sunday. Here you are, man. How the hell are you? Man, beautiful weekend here in Chicago, man. I can't complain. It's beautiful weather. It's haven't been raining, right? It's been nice and sunny. I cannot bitch about it, right? So here we are, man. And man, what an eventful week of pro wrestling, man. We still have another eventful week this week. Yeah, man, we got a little bit of lucha style pro wrestling still continue to go down to this coming week. Obviously, last week. Not this week, but the week prior, right? We had AAA and AAA and WWE. Of course, this coming Wednesday down in Arena, Mexico. We got AEW and CMLL down in Arena, Mexico. So Luchador still flying high, North American style. So a lot of Luchador style wrestling coming up, man. And I'm pretty stoked, man. I'm pretty excited. So we got that piece of business out the way. But as I mentioned, this is a podcast, right? Take the podcast to go. Very simple. Scan the QR code right above you right now. If you're watching live right here on Twitch, watching live right here at YouTube, also live on X as well. Take the podcast to go. Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Help a brother out, man. Scan the QR code. Take the podcast to go. By the way, for watching live, check out my official website, Into the Squared Circle Podcast. Check it out today, blogs, photos, and I have other stuff, including action figures, which I'll show you guys what just came in the mail this past week. As I mentioned, if you're watching live right now on Twitch and X, maybe a new follower, a new viewer, give me a follow and subscribe. Share the video feed as well. Tell your friends about this kick-ass independent wrestling podcast, Into the Squared Circle Podcast.com. All right, so let's get the business here. I won't waste too much of your time. Thank you very much for watching. And here we go. Top pro wrestling picks of the week, of course. Always looking for new action figures to buy online, in store. I mean, big box store like Walmart, Target, maybe an antique store that's selling antique figures, right? So maybe you're an action figure collector like myself. Hopefully, you see half of this stuff you have like mine. So that being said, I got a new, not new, but I got to say, I've been collecting the LJN series, which I do bought new ones. But also I'm starting to buy a little bit of the Hasbro, the WWF Hasbro, the 90s era action figures. So, of course, I went on to Ghetto eBay, right? And I found these. What year is this? I can't see shit. That was the 90s, right? Hasbro era. The Bushwhackers, right? Look at them, right? You got the Bush. It has to come a tag team, right? The Hasbro eras. I mean, look how fucking small these things are, man. These are small. Anyway, about their normal size. You got the normal scale LGN action figures, of course. But of course, I got my first ever Hasbro WWE action figure. So pretty cool. Add that to my collection, of course. And as I mentioned, I got the LJN series I'm kind of working on right now. And, of course, the big bendy guys, of course. And actually, I just finally cracked this box open. And, okay, so right here I have, if you're an LJN collector, I have, well, allegedly the British Bulldog LJN. You don't see him like the British Bulldog. But I got the British Bulldog LGN, freshly wrapped, came straight from eBay. Also have another British Bulldog. Apparently they packed me two of them. So another British Bulldog LJN. And this one, I was kind of excited for. I've been collecting this guy from all different companies. I'm talking about the WWE Legend, we call those the Elite Series. You can find at Target. I got this guy also from Heels and Faces, the zombie sailor. But of course, I got the Andre the Giant LJN. So add this to collection to my another Andre the Giant action figure. Pretty cool, man. A little beat up, man. Look at his ass. His ass is starting to, paint fade away. Anyway, I got the LJN Andre the Giant. So pretty cool. So I'm always buying shit, man. Always buying the action figures. Just my wife bitch and complains, right? Just sitting on the shelf collecting dust. I love action figures, man. A huge wrestling fan, of course, just like you. And I like to collect shit. That's the way. That's just me. Anyway, there's your action figure of the week, if you give a rat's ass or not. Let's talk about pro wrestling, shall we? It's been a busy week of pro wrestling this week. I'll give you guys fairly quick my top 3 highlights for WWE Raw, WWE SmackDown this past Friday, and AEW Dynamite. Of course, Dynamite, 4 hours of AEW Dynamite. It's bad enough the pay-per-view is a little bit long. You know what I'm saying? AEW are fucking 10-hour pay-per-views. Dude, I got a life. I got kids. I have a life. It's bad enough Raw's 3 hours. Well, 2.5. SmackDown, unfortunately, they're not going to change it back to 2 hours. Anyway, let's talk about Raw. That's at least the oldest one throughout the week. Of course, Monday Night Raw, 3 things I enjoyed on Monday Night Raw. Maybe you agree or not. Of course, it is John Cena and CM Punk, right, to kick off Monday Night Raw. Cena needs a competition. Who's going to take down John Cena? Who's going to take that title away from his waist, of course? John Cena needs a challenge. All right, who's going to come out and challenge? Well, my boy right here, Chicago's very own CM Punk. And, of course, he came out to confront John Cena. And he look, let's get straight to the point. John Cena wants the title. All right, John Cena's willing to give him the title match. But, which I kind of disagree with the WWE. I'd rather have this match. Now, some people will bitch and complain about this, but to me, in my heart, I think Cena versus Punk should have happened right here in Chicago. Yes, it have happened in the past. Yes, I was there, Money in the Bank. Man, I'm bad with time here. 2012. I was there in the crowd. The sign said, if Cena wins, we riot. I was there, right? So I've seen that match for the world champion where Punk won the title. He went out to the crowd and walked away with the champion. It just makes sense to have it happen here one more time in the city of Chicago. Now, that being said, unfortunately, our fellow cohorts across the seas in Saudi Arabia probably have a big, hefty check, of course. And unfortunately, they want that to have that match over there instead of here on the U.S. soil, specifically not in Chicago. So, and that match is big enough that maybe Allstate Arena is probably not the good place to have it at, because that's a marquee match. CM Punk versus John Cena. Of course, they're going to have a stadium show out in Saudi Arabia. So that being said, that was a highlight from this past Monday. But unfortunately, they're going to have this match out in Saudi Arabia. So unfortunately, I'd rather have it here in the United States. So CM Punk versus John Cena face-to-face on Monday Night Raw. Highlight of Monday Night Raw. Other highlight was R-Truth. Ron Killings, of course. Ron Killings, of course, came out, cut a hell of a promo on Monday Night Raw this past Monday. Of course, he cut his hair, right? He ended up chopping the dreadlocks up there. A little bit more serious, right? I love this serious Ron Killings, right? He came out and he's about to reveal the truth. And boy, I'm pretty excited. As a fan, I am excited for Ron Killings, a.k.a. R-Truth. Now, of course, the WWE still putting the R-Truth on the marquee. They're still putting the R-Truth name out there. Even though R-Truth is now known as Ron Killings, which his real name is, he's out there saying, I am Ron Killings. So he's making a statement, right? He's making a statement, right? It's time for him to make a change. None of the joke gimmick, none of the funny stuff. He's being serious, right? Ron Killings is being a serious son of a gun. Someone you don't want to mess with. See, this is a dangerous man. He's a guy we got to keep our eyes on, right? Fans love him, but Ron Killings, he's being legit serious here, man. And he's the guy to be watching the next couple of weeks, my personal opinion. After seeing that promo Monday, now things are going to change because we're going to talk about SmackDown. Yeah, he's going to be involved in SmackDown this past Friday, and we'll talk about it in a couple minutes. So that R-Truth, the Ron Killings promo this past Monday, yeah, that was highlight number 2 for me on Monday Night Raw. All right, last and final highlight of Monday Night Raw this past Monday on Netflix was the main event. Hell of a match, right? Jey Uso, Yeet, versus the Reign General, Gunther. And it was a hard-hitting slobber knocker, as Jim Ross would say. It was a great match. It was a hard-hitting match, but something told me that Jey was going to lose it. I had a good some instinct in my gut. You know, they gave that Jey Uso that underdog, right? Oh, he got the headlock. This is it, man. No. Gunther, gave him that fake ass UFC elbow strikes on Jey Uso, and eventually gave him a chokehold, and Jey Uso passed out. Gunther's now is your WWE World Champion. So I can't say it's predictable, but I also kind of saw it. I had a little feeling that Jey Uso was going to lose it. I had a feeling. And guess what? Jey Uso lost the champion. The next thing is, what's next for Jey Uso? Will he join back with his brother, Big Jimmy? We'll have to wait and see on that. Maybe vamp up the tag team division. Maybe Jey Uso is going to go after something else. I don't know. But in the meantime, Gunther is your world champion. That being said, Seth Rollins is your Money in the Bank briefcase winner. Who he's going to cash in? Will he cash in on Gunther? Could he cash in on John Cena? We'll have to keep our eyes peeled on Seth Rollins and what he decides on his briefcase opportunity as well. All right. Monday Night Raw, done, over with. Let's head on over to AEW Dynamite. 4 hours. AEW blockbuster. Summer blockbuster. And, it was very interesting, right? 4 hours of AEW product. That's just a little too much for me. Yeah. So I did a little bit of 3.5. Keep it fair and square. Went to bed. So some of the top 3 highlights of AEW. I enjoyed the MJF and the Mystico confrontation. Of course, they're going to have a hot date, 1-on-1 match in Reno, Mexico this coming Wednesday on AEW's cross promotion with CMLL. MJF trying to get that mask off of Mystico. He called him a lame ass Sin Cara. So, I think Mystico said something in Spanish, like, I'm going to bang your mom, or I don't know what he said in Spanish to MJF, but he got him under in the skin. So, looking forward to this match between Mystico and MJF down in Reno, Mexico this coming Wednesday. I'm looking forward to it as well. So, that's highlight number 1 I enjoyed on Dynamite. Highlight number 2, the opening match of AEW Dynamite this past Wednesday. Will Ospreay, right? Will Bygone Ospreay versus Swerve Strickland. Hell of a match, man. You want a modern banger match, a pay-per-view quality match on opening free TV. Holy smokes, what a match. Of course, no one won the match. It was a 30-minute time limit draw. And these guys beat the shit out of each other. I'm talking about Ospreay and Swerve Strickland. Just insane, high octane, high risk, high rewards. These guys got the best out of them, right? That they had little tension. They had a lot of anger against each other. And they took it out of each other on national television this past Wednesday. I believe the Death Riders got involved in this match after the 30-minute time limit, of course. And eventually somebody was ready to take out Swerve, and Will Ospreay stepped in. He took the bullet for Swerve Strickland because Swerve was about to get jumped by one of the guys from Death Riders. And hopefully we'll have to see how things would change in the storyline between Swerve and Will Ospreay, because Will Ospreay took the bullet for Swerve after the match. So I'll have to keep our eyes peeled. By the way, this coming Wednesday on Dynamite for the CMLL, not AAA, AEW Arena Mexico, we got a 10-man tag, pretty much what you saw at the Anarchy and Arena match a couple weeks ago. We're going to have it in again, same match, same guys, just they're going to fight in Arena Mexico. That is it. Nothing too special. So that was highlight number 2. Highlight number 3, final highlight for AEW Dynamite. It was the confrontation of Kushka Okada and our boy Kenny Omega. They had a contract signing, of course, for AEW's All In, the biggest show of the year, which is coming up in a couple of weeks. And they had a contract signing in the ring. Of course, they had a friendly face-off, right? Handshake. All right, there's going to be no altercation. No one's going to be touching each other. It's simple contract. May the best man win. And they had a hell of a promo package on Dynamite. I loved it. They talked about the history of Okada versus Omega. I love the New Japan footage. They dated back to like 2016, 2017, Wrestle Kingdom. I love that stuff. I was there to see it live in New Japan World as a fan. And it's good to see the memories come back to those fantastic feud back in New Japan. Okada was the best of the best, right? Okada, Omega, these guys were the hottest stars outside of the WWE. And way before AEW got started. So I kind of love that promo package from the New Japan stuff. Pretty damn cool. And kudos to AEW for putting up that great promo package for this match, because I believe Okada and Omega is a marquee match. And by the way, I saw they gained another 1,000 tickets sold for the stadium show at All In. But I think that match should be a marquee match. Now, are they going to make it a main event match? We'll have to wait and see on that as well. But in the meantime, that is a marquee match. Definitely on the top of the food chain for All In, my personal opinion. Now, that being said, they had a face-to-face this past Wednesday on Dynamite. Of course, Don Callis came out. Of course, Don Callis is trying to recruit Kenny Omega to play a little bit of dirty, right? Don Callis has been pushing Kyle Fletcher to be in this match. But, long story short, I guess Okada was working with the Don Callis family. I guess what happened was, not I guess, because it did happen, Okada attacked Kenny Omega. Of course, they talked about Kenny Omega's having issues down here, right? His we call it tuberculosis, whatever. He has issue with intestines, right? Kenny Omega, right? And then he's been dealing with that for a year, right? He has, everyone who watches AEW knows he has testicles, not testicles, dipshit. Your shit you down here in your stomach, right? He had issues in the past. Of course, they use that issue in the storyline by Okada dropping the almighty Macho Man elbow right here where Kenny Omega has issues. Of course, he did it 3 times. Of course, the final time Okada did the elbow drop, Kenny Omega was on the stretcher. And Okada climbed the turnbuckle, jumped off the turnbuckle by doing the elbow drop, landed right there on Kenny Omega's stomach. And Kenny Omega has decided to cough up a bucket of blood on live national television, like dark blood. Yeah. That was like fucking sci-fi network horror blood. I'm trying to think. I don't know. A lot of people laughed at it. I guess Kenny Omega took it very serious. But anyway, they kind of amped up this match, and we'll have to wait and see how things will play out the next couple of weeks between Okada and Omega. So there's your top 3 highlights for AEW Dynamite. Let's get into SmackDown to wrap things up here. SmackDown. Of course, they kicked off the show with John Cena. Again, of course, right? All the stars came out to kick off SmackDown. Here, Randy Orton, the returning Randy Orton, LA Knight, the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes. And, all these guys want to come for the title. All these guys are willing to be part of the men's, what's that, the King of the Ring tournament, whatever tournament they're having for the world champion. So these guys are coming after John Cena. John Cena was like, you know what, man, I'm going to stay out all of this. Screw all of you. Now, as John Cena was leaving, facing the crowd, looking at all the guys in the ring, out comes Ron Killings, R-Truth, which we talked about a couple minutes ago. R-Truth came out, attacked John Cena, and got a huge pop from the Lexington, Kentucky this past Friday. And R-Truth attacked John Cena, which leading a match to John Cena versus R-Truth, Ron Killings, next Friday on SmackDown. So they're going to have another match. Now, they never advertised a title match, but it's probably a singles one-on-one match. But we're going to get ourselves a Ron Killings versus John Cena next Friday on SmackDown, which I believe is going to be in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And I think tomorrow Raw will be up in Green Bay, Wisconsin. So, yeah, very interesting, man. Ron Killings versus John Cena at SmackDown next Friday. Very interesting. I'm looking forward to see what's going to happen playing out as well. Now, that being said, that's highlight number one. Highlight number two on SmackDown, it was the men's, the tournament they had. Of course, Randy Orton won the first tournament match. I love the Carmelo Hayes jumping up the turnbuckle. Randy Orton giving the RKO on top of LA Knight. That was a cool moment. Randy Orton wins the tournament. He's advancing in the tournament. Of course, the main event, Cody Rhodes was in the main event of the tournament. Who he faced? I don't know. Anyway, long story short, Cody Rhodes won the other qualifying match during the main event of SmackDown. So I kind of enjoyed that as well. And the final highlight for SmackDown was I enjoyed Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu, that was a hell of a promo. A hell of a promo. And by the way, he's talking about coming after Solo Sikoa. Of course, Solo Sikoa cut a backstage promo, and there was someone sitting in the background with sunglasses. I'm like, who the hell is that? I mean, that was like a fucking whale with sunglasses on. And I totally forgot that was JC Mateo, just sitting in the back in the dark with sunglasses. But Solo Sikoa, pretty much saying that, hey, man, what comes around goes around. We're gonna come after you, Jacob Fatu, and we're gonna come after your ass. So keep your eyes peeled. So we'll have to see what's gonna go down between Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu the next couple of weeks as well. We saw Hikuleo made his WWE debut, but not on television. I guess he had a dark match before SmackDown as well. All right, that is it. My top three highlights for Raw, SmackDown, and AEW Dynamite. I gave you guys my pro wrestling action figures of the week. That is it. That's a very, it's Father's Day. We got a busy-ass day still to come. Very action-packed weekend for me. Hope you guys have a kick-ass week. And maybe I will hop on here tomorrow night after Raw. Maybe. So keep your eyes peeled right here on X, YouTube, and Twitch as well. As I mentioned, give me a follow, subscribe right here at social media. I'm on Facebook and TikTok as well. And as I mentioned, check out my official website, IntoTheSquareCirclePodcast.com. You see the information down below. And scan the QR code right above you. Take the podcast to go. Take it to work. Take it to school. Wherever you may be going. Into the Square Circle Podcast, all podcasting outlets. All right, that is it, my friends. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, including myself. Be safe. Stay healthy. Have a cold one. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have an awesome kick-ass week. I'll talk to you guys in a couple days, maybe tomorrow night, right here on Into the Squared Circle